Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are located on the planet. It is time to go live with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the infamous six pack, where you can get started trading alongside me. You can pull up a chair, kick it with me as you guzzle down a six-pack of PulseWave price triggers for only $69 a month. Head on over there to PulseWaveTrading.com. Also, while you're there, sign up for we have a free account that you can sign up for. We're giving away some things. Also, you have the opportunity to schedule the webinar. We're doing multiple webinars this week. And if I may say so myself, toot my own horn, toot toot, pulse waves have been killing it in these markets, baby. That's right. Come trade with a professional. Come break bread with me and see how we do this. All right. We've been big pimping in forex, big pimping on equities, and big pimping on the crypto market. That's how we do it over here. All right. So a lot of things have happened since the last time we were together, fam. Now, in our end of day report, we talked about, just the most craziest spasmodic market yesterday ever. And now today they're talking about providing additional stimulus. Now, I looked, but I didn't see it. So if you guys saw it, let me know. But I could have sworn Trump was supposed to address the nation last night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I didn't see that. Am I missing something? Let me know in the live chat if I'm missing something. Now, this morning supposedly is supposed to be addressing the nation with some stimulus, which was supposed to be done last night. Now, me and the wife and kids were joking. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this one. Is the reason why we didn't see him is because he ain't here? I mean, let's be honest. Congress already went on vacation on Friday. I mean, they left while the building was burning. They just ran out the building and kept it moving. Do we even think the president's still here? Is he even in country? Or is he hiding out in a bunker somewhere? I don't know. Just something to think about. Anywho, here's what's going on right now as far as what's making the news this morning. Off the rails, stocks, oil, treasury yields, and Bitcoin surge, then retreat as coronavirus woes outweigh government actions. Volatility remains our companion, one analyst said. Paul Krugman blasts Trump for catastrophically inadequate coronavirus response, points out his biggest boast has evaporated. Take away his magic talisman, and there's nothing left, the Economist tweeted, referring to the erosion of stock markets gains during Trump's presidency. Remember I said that. Now, his enemies are actually starting to talk about this as if the coronavirus was his fault. Again, who benefits, folks? Follow the money and see who benefits. It's starting to smell like a conspiracy to me. Yeah. Because now you're throwing it in his lap. Any intelligent person would see that this is not his doing, but now they're going to throw it up in his face and say, ha-ha, your only thing that you stood on was the power of the market. Now the market's been decimated on your watch. Now what's up, knuckle? They're throwing it in his face, using it to bring him down. And it makes it seem as if this whole thing was contrived as a scorched earth, a planned attack to take down one man. That means the shadow government, the powers that be, were using a scorched earth plan to take him down because all other plans failed. They couldn't remove him from office with the trumped up charges pun intended. So when that didn't stick, they said, forget it. Release the Kraken. Release the Jabberwocky. That's what they had to do. It took the Kraken and the Jabberwocky to finally take down the president. Or should I say, it took a fine young woman. Bombs couldn't do it. Missiles couldn't do it. Bullets couldn't do it. Nothing seemed to work. But when they pulled out Miss Betty Boop, aka Jessica Rabbit, King Kong fell to his knees. It took a female to bring down King Kong. Well, that's what they're doing here. They said, we got it. We know what we got to do. And that's what they did. And here we are, blaming the president now for what's happening in the stock market. As if it's over, as if this is November and we're in this situation. This is not November, folks. We're still in March. We are still in March. I repeat, this is March. March Madness. Beware the Ides of March. Now, let me give y'all some historical precedents before we continue in this news. March has been known to be the long lost relative of October. Okay? What does that mean? Historically, you look back and you see the big crashes that happen in the month of October. They start toward the end of September and kick off in October. That's why we call it Rocktober. But this is March, the long lost relative that no one likes to talk about, the black sheep of the family. March is a political month for markets. Let me rewind the tape for you and take you to Exhibit A. The year is 2000, the year the NASDAQ bubble bursted. What do you think happened? In the month of March, we got the surprise. In between meetings, unannounced Fed stimulus, lowering interest rates. And that's what made the market go, wow. No one likes to talk about that. It's also the time and the month where we had that infamous 700-point drop in the Dow. All right? Coming fresh out of the 90s, the first year of the millennium. And then we got a 700-point drop in the Dow. The Dow is barely hanging on to 10,000. And we get a 700-point drop. That's massive. That is significant. I will never forget it. I know exactly. I knew where it was happening. I was right there up on Embassy Road, Massachusetts Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital when it happened. Yeah, I remember that. It was a wild day. So don't forget about the long lost relative of March. Beware the Ides of March. This is when political shenanigans and Fed moves happen historically. Just so you know, just give me a little background. All right. End of February, going booming into October, into March. That's when you get these type of situations. So this is not new to me, and it's not new to the market. All right. Oil and gas incomes in emerging markets could drop by 85% this year on coronavirus fears, energy leaders say. Experts warn that energy incomes could slump to their lowest levels in more than 20 years if current market conditions persist. How is that our problem? Seriously, how is that our problem? If supply and demand is happening in your market, meaning that you got mad supply, but it ain't no demand, how is that our problem? You wasn't concerned when crude oil was $150 a barrel back in 2008. You didn't care. People was being mercilessly demolished financially, trying to fill up at the gas pump, and you had no mercy. Now you want us to feel sorry for you because supply and demand is killing you right now. And again, it's also a political game because you got Russia beefing with OPEC and everybody's getting involved, and you got tariffs, and then you got all types of stuff. And, we got possible war about to break out over this. Remember, war breaks out when people can't get what they want. That's when they go to war. Just remember that. Keep that Trump card, no pun intended. Keep that up under your sleeve. All right. Those of you wearing long sleeves, go ahead and tuck that card up under your sleeve right quick. All right. When nations cannot get what they want, they go to war. Look at how much war has been fought over oil already just in the last 30 years. The last 30 years, we've been in nonstop war and nonstop raining down bombs in the Middle East. War. Do you know how many bombs have been dropped in the Middle East in the last 30 years? Good grief. When will it end? All right. Every time countries say we're not dealing with the U.S. petrodollar no more, we're not going to buy and sell oil in U.S. dollars no more, that's when the U.S. says, all right, don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you in the street. Don't let me catch you in the street. And then they start beefing and they start brawling and they start going to war and they start dropping bombs and the U.S. starts occupying and colonizing sovereign countries. We still got boots on the ground in the Middle East, taking over people's countries, occupying people's countries. The same way right now, Israel is occupying Gaza in the West Bank and kicking out the Palestinians, taking their land, pushing them back and back and back and back. Yep. That's what we got going on. Been happening since the beginning of time, though. L Brands temporary closure stores draws down $950 million, almost $1 billion from existing credit line. The owner of Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works will shut its stores in the U.S. and Canada through March 29th. All right, it should be noted that some of these industries, if I didn't know any better, I would say some of these industries have been targeted for takeover and shut down. Think of all the restaurants and bars and retail stores and shopping malls that are being decimated right now because there's no traffic. No one's leaving the house to shop except for the grocery store, that is. Because at the end of the day, you got to go there. You got to eat. You don't have to shop at a store. You can shop online, but you do have to eat. You do got to get up and go to the store and get something to eat. So that's where we're at right now. These places may not recover. We may be looking at the final death knell or death blow, the Rocky Balboa blow, the Mike Tyson in his prime blow to the retail industry. Like straight up. Airline industry, retail industry, and the cruise ship industry, they're all on the ropes right now. And this is threatening to take them down. Now, there was a lot of excellent reporting back during the housing crisis. People with their camcorders was driving around showing you ghost towns, ghost villages, ghost malls, ghost, urban communities, ghost housing projects and abandoned buildings. People just started the project and then just abandoned it and walked away. If you do a little search, I'm sure a majority of that's still up on YouTube. And there was talk about the retail industry, going away even back then. Now, since then, we've had a lot of retail places go under. We've had malls go under, all around the country. But this right here would be like the last of the last. And a lot of retail outfits would not just be closing stores. They'd be going the way of Toys R Us. They'll be getting up out of here. They'd be going the way of Circuit City. All right. Or Radio Shack. So this part is serious. This part is serious. And for an economy like the US that is built upon consumer spending, you got an economy that is solely built and based off of consumer spending. If consumers don't just go out and just throw all their money away on, you know, silly gadgetries, then the economy goes under. And that's kind of where we are right now, a very fragile place to be. Airbus signals some government help may be needed if crisis lasts months. Aviation industry representatives raised the issue with Germany's economy ministry, two sources told Reuters. Again, airlines really struggling. But I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. You guys help me with this. All right, so we started this whole too big to fail nonsense during the 2008 financial crisis. Oh, we can't let this company go under because it employs too many people. Since when did that ever become an issue? Since when did anyone care about that? Do you know how many large companies have gone under and the government didn't save them? Like, seriously. There are industries that don't even exist anymore. They're gone. The government didn't bail them out. Since when does the government come in and do any of that? Since when does the government use taxpayer money to bail out someone who has a job, taking someone who doesn't have a job's money to bail them out? Or someone who doesn't have the kind of pay that this person's making, but you're going to take my money and my tax dollars and save their job and give my money to them, and I'm poorer than them. So this person works in ABC industry and they make, let's say, $90 an hour. I work at Walmart. I barely make $10 an hour. You tax me to death. So you're going to take my money. You're going to take money from me and give it to these people over here so they can save their jobs. But when I got laid off at Target and now I'm working at Walmart, you didn't feel sorry for me. You didn't bail me out. But that's the world that we find ourselves in now, where certain industries, not all industries, but certain industries get to be bailed out by the government and backstop. So they can do no wrong. So they can do all types of fiscal chicanery and they'll be bailed out at the end. Doesn't matter. Oh, we're going to be bailed out. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want to do. All right. That does not make sense, and that should not be allowed. If a company is ran into the ground and mismanaged, they need to go out of business, not stay in business. They need to go away. And you should never use taxpayer money to do that. You should never take from the have-nots and give it to the haves. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Where's all this money coming from? Doesn't make any sense. So people need to start thinking about that as we're heading into elections. So you're going to bail out the airline industry, the cruise ship industry, auto industry, all these other industries, but you're not going to bail out the people who've already lost their jobs. You're not going to bail out the underemployed. You're not going to bail out those people working 8 part-time jobs because they can't even find one good full-time job. You're not bailing them out. You're not bailing out the working poor. You sure aren't. You haven't bailed them out ever. All right, so we got a problem going on here, folks. And we need to open up our eyes and do the knowledge to this because the mathematics don't add up. Volkswagen starts shutting down production in Europe in face of coronavirus. The German automaker made the call based on weaker demand and greater uncertainty around part supplies to its plants. Again, supply and demand. If demand is down, you don't make as much money. When demand is up, you make a ton of money. Isn't that the way things go, though? You can't blame everything on the coronavirus because it had nothing to do with it. Your numbers have been going into the toilet forever. Airline industry suffering has been nonstop for decades. You got the malls and retail stores suffering for ages. You got the auto industry suffering for ages. Has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Nothing to do with the coronavirus. Nothing to do with the coronavirus. Reports came out before you even heard the word coronavirus saying that the auto industry was suffering because the millennials, young people, said they didn't see the need to be buying cars. They'll just hitch a ride with their buddy or ride a bicycle or a skateboard or a scooter or just walk it. They'll just hoof it. That's why your auto sales has been going into the toilet. Likewise, they haven't really been buying houses. So what do you want to do? What can you do about that? Nothing. So let me guess. So what is the government going to come in and just start giving people cars, buying people cars, and buying people homes? Of course they're not going to do that, because the way they do capitalism here is the greedy kind. It's the corrupt kind. They mix corruption with their capitalism. See, they don't want to be like Libya. They don't want to be like Qatar. They don't want to be like Oman. They don't want to be like countries that actually literally take care of their people and their citizens. They don't want to do that. They don't want to be like Gaddafi, who bought everyone in his country a house. All right? They don't want to do that. They don't want to make it so that everyone in the country can go to university for free. They don't want to do that. And I'm not talking about degrees in foolishness or degrees in mental retardation. I'm talking about degrees in mathematics and science and medicine, engineering. All right? Talking about those degrees, not degrees in paper cutting or glue sniffing. Not talking about those dumb degrees, fake degrees, not even a degree. I don't even call that a degree. It's stupid. It's just a way for the universities to suck more money out of stupid, unsuspecting people. I'm just saying. All right? They've been dissing you for a long time. You got to open your eyes. They've been dissing you for a long time and making you love it. Amazon is refusing to shut its warehouses as 5 workers across Spain and Italy test positive for coronavirus. The e-commerce titan said it was following the guidelines of local and international health authorities and had introduced preventative health measures. See, now again, open your eyes, people. This news was just released yesterday that Amazon had sent its American workers home, told them to work from home, but guess what? People had no access to the computers and stuff and really couldn't work from home. But they still sent them home. So why are you not doing that over there? Why are you doing one thing in one country and something different in the other? Don't give me, oh, well, it's a different country, I'm following their guide. Stop. How can the guidelines for coronavirus be different in one country from the next? That doesn't make sense. You're not making any sense. If playing in traffic is bad in Somalia, it's also bad in Sudan, it's also bad in Italy, it's also bad in Japan, it's bad. Playing in traffic is just not a good idea everywhere. But don't say, well, no, you can play in traffic in Canada, though. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make sense. You're not making any sense. We're just following, guidelines. We're just following orders. That's what they're saying. We're just following orders. Stop it. Stop it. Stocks are whipsawing. In Europe, Germany's DAX and Britain's FTSE 100 slayed 1.5%, while the Euro Stoxx 50 fell 0.4%. In Asia, China's Shanghai Composite fell 0.3%. Japan's Nikkei was almost flat, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng rose 0.9%. U.S. stocks are set to open higher, with futures underlying the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ up between 1 and 1.5%. Big earnings are out. Volkswagen and FedEx are the highlights. There's interesting data on the way. Look out for retail sales figures. So that's what we're dealing with right now. All right, man, I tell you, it's like this world we live in never ceases to amaze me with its chicanery and foolishness. All right, so your president is being under attack. Okay, the Fed has nothing under control. There's nothing that the government can do except for just take it and just admit that they are not in control. All right, so opening bell just rang. Here's what it's looking like. Your Dow is up 204 points at 20,465. NASDAQ 100 up 133 points at 7173 half. Even the S&P 500 up 25, make that 27 at 2435 and a quarter. We got the Russell up 32.3 points at 1058.80. Bitcoin is up $395 at 5,320. Nat gas is flat at $1.80. Crude oil is only up 12 cents a barrel at $28.82. The long bond is down 2 full points in 7/30 seconds at 178.27. Gold is up $5.40 at 1491.9. Silver down 32 cents at $12.49. U.S. dollar index is up 145 pips at 99.52, getting back up to par, strengthening up, about to retest, going to full par. Euro yen is now down 79 pips at 117.54. We got the euro currency is down 181 pips at 110.47. The pound sterling is down 146 pips at 121.13. Aussie dollar down 107 pips at 60.16. Big moves in the currencies, folks. Big moves as the dollar is strengthening. Looking at food, we got soybeans up 7 points at 828.75, and corn is up three quarters of a cent at 355 and a quarter. All right. So far, our hack is unchanged. Not doing nada. Apple up $4.70. Amazon up almost $70. Netflix up almost $5. Google up $1.67. Tesla down $2.97. What I want to call it. Your coronavirus section is as follows: Clorox up almost $3, Colgate up $2, American Airlines up 13 cents, MT up 6 cents, Zynga up 12 cents, INO up 66 cents, APT up 24 cents, and that's what we're looking at right now. That's what we got. And UWT and DWT seems to be broken because they're both down. UWT should be up, while DWT should be down if crude oil is up. So not acting right at all. All right, what else we got here? Let me pull this up. Let me get back up here. Okay, so Dig right now is up 8 cents, while Doug is up 44 cents. Yeah, the energy complex is broken because it's not moving right. OIH is up 4 cents to match with the crude oil being up. USO and UCO are both down a penny. They're red. So the energy sector is broken at the moment. Straight up broken. All right, let's see here. Deck's a little hood this morning. I like it. Man, I've always been hood. That's never changed. I've always been me, man. That's not something that you have to try. It's just what I am. What can I say? I don't speak the Queen's English, all right? Let's see what else we got going on here real quick. They claim that stocks are rebounding after the worst day ever. This is not a rebound. The Dow is up 128 points. How in 4 worlds is that a rebound? Come on, CNBC. That's not a rebound, baby. A rebound is the Dow being up at least half of what it lost yesterday. That's at least a 50% retracement. I was so that means we got to be up 1,500 right now. That's right. Everything got to be up 1,500. If it ain't, then we're not rebounding. This is not a rebound. I repeat, this is not a rebound. All right. So next thing on the agenda is where do we go from here? All right. So I gave y'all the end of day report. That still stands. All right. We're going to wait and we're going to see what happens. It's still early yet. You know, the first hour of trading is extremely important. All right. So we're going to watch and see how we move today. 10:30, we'll know a little bit more. By 10:30, we'll know the first hour trading is the most important. After 10:30, that's when you either have the range set for the day or you have the direction set for the day. All right. So right now, I'm going to say we're probably going to have the range possibly set for the day. But the way things have been moving, I don't really want to say that. I'm going to say we'll have the direction ready, because right now as I'm looking at things, I don't see any 2-bar Charlie setups. So that means the market can and probably will do whatever it wants to do today. Meaning we'll probably take out both overnight high and overnight lows just because the market can. And that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm scanning and I don't see any 2BC setups. So that means the markets are flexible and will probably do whatever they want. Yeah, that's what we are. So expect anything today. All right. If anything breaks off, jumps off, then I'll come back and do an intraday report or something like that, intraday report. But just because the markets are a little calm right now doesn't mean that if you have not gone to the store to get the things that you need, you're probably already too late. You might have a little window today, but you're probably going to be too late. You need to stock up on stuff because people are panicking. And when I say they're panicking, I mean they are panicking. No food on the shelves, man. You're not able to find jack. There's been a couple bright spots. Sam's Club had stuff in it. They were well stocked, but all the other stores, like the local grocery stores, forget about it. Not looking good at all. So it's all. I mean, the general rule of thumb is always good to have it at minimum. At minimum, it's good to have at least a week or two's worth of food. A week or two is the minimum, bare minimum. But if you can do better, do more, because more is always better. But people make a mistake though, because they'll get a bunch of meat and perishable food. But what happens if for some odd reason the power goes out? Now you can't eat because the power's out. You need to have quick food that you can eat. And I ain't talking about them nasty MREs either. I'm talking about just food that you can just open and eat, like canned foods. Canned foods last forever. And cookies, chips. You know what I'm saying? Snacks. Anything that you can eat that's gonna fill your stomach. Okay, you got to. All right, you just got to, because I'm telling you, man, bread, eggs gone. Bread and eggs gone. You can forget it. All right, and meat gone. So if you have not already taken this seriously and went to the store, you better go today. I'm just saying. All right. Think about things that you can eat right out of the package. Box food, okay, that's fine, but you still got to have water and fire in order to make it. So I'm not saying don't get that stuff, but you just got to think about non-perishable food, non-perishable food that you can eat. All right, that like I said, cans. I can't stress that enough. People be tripping on the cans. Well, it has too much sodium in it. Shut up. Good and well, you rather eat a can of beefaroni than to eat nothing. All right. So I'm just saying, be smart. All right. Cans, cans, cereal. Like I said, non-perishables, things that can keep for longer than 3 days. All right. That's what you need. Okay. Well, I'm a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. Shut up. You know good and well, if we go to a raw situation, the straight up Walking Dead, you're going to be eating meat. And if you don't, you'll die. If they shut down right now and say, you can't leave your house for 90 days, what are you going to do? And you ain't got and they cut the electricity off saying it's for your own benefit. Now what you going to do? You have no electricity and you can't cook and no gas. They cut the gas off too. No gas, no electric. What you going to do? How you going to eat, vegan? How you going to eat, vegetarian? What you going to do? You can't leave the house. Knuckle. So how you going to eat? Knuckle. You going to knock on your neighbor's door and say, can you make me a salad, homie? Can you hook me with a salad, homie? You got a couple of cucumbers and some tomatoes I can borrow, homie? You know that's not going to work because you don't even speak to your neighbors. And they don't have no words for you. Y'all don't even look at each other when you pass each other in the parking lot. What you talking about? Huh? What you talking about? Stop it. You need to think about things. You need to think about some things. All right? You need to think about things. That's all I'm saying. Do the knowledge to this. Don't panic because I told you don't need to panic. All right? You just need to think about what it is you need to do. All right? Keep it 100. Keep it real with yourself. Notice, a lot of people, they're going to get a rude awakening. See, I hate being forced to do stuff that I normally don't do. I normally I go to the store once a week, basically. Seriously. Maybe twice if I need to get some little odds and ends or something that I forgot the first time I went to the store. But now my hand is being forced to literally go to the store just about every day, packing up stuff because they're limiting quantities on things now. So you got to go to the store every day if you want to get some little odds and ends stuff. And you got to find yourself going to several different stores trying to find a little thing that you want. So here's another issue too, folks. You need to know your surroundings and know your area. If you've never left beyond a certain point and you don't know your immediate area, you don't even know what place has what because you ain't never been there. You got to know those little nooks and crannies. You got to know that Walmart is tucked away over there and just in the next town that hardly nobody go to. It's not that populated, so there's always stuff on the shelf. And you remember back when y'all had that hurricane, back when you had the blizzard, back when you had this and this and that and this, that store was always stocked full. You gotta know where those stores are at. I know I'm dropping too much on y'all right now. I ain't mean to get this deep. Just like those of you who travel, whenever you leave the house on the weekends with your family, when y'all just going to have some fun, am I the only one that knows where all the bathrooms are? Am I the only one that knows where you can go use the bathroom just about anywhere in your town when you're out and about? Am I the only one that knows where the public restrooms are? Stuff like that. You got to know stuff like that, people. All right? You got to know stuff like that, fam. If you live in like a really big city, you got to know the local suburbs outside of your city within an hour's drive. You got to know where all that is. So I can go over here and get that. And I know they got this dope hardware store, this little mom and pop over here in the corner. I can go over here and get that. They always got stuff. You gotta know. And then you gotta know, what about places that are off the beaten path that people don't think that has stuff in it, supplies in it. All right. You didn't know that 7-Eleven got some stuff in there sometimes? You didn't know that? You didn't know that some of the dollar stores have things in them sometimes? Or the little mom and pop, the little no-name store, they don't really have nothing in there that you want, but they always got bleach. You notice they always have bleach. You better run in there and get yourself some bleach. See what I'm saying? So you got to think and know your surroundings and know what's going on, man. I'm just saying. See, in the West, we're spoiled because you notice that when you live in the West, you have the opportunity for a lot of time wasting and leisure. Poor people don't have a lot of time for leisure. They got to get up and go to be at work in the morning. They work multiple jobs. They work long hours. They don't have time to to spend, you know, thinking about mystical leanings. They don't have time to hibernate in their closet. All right. They don't have time to do all that stuff. They don't have time to attend yoga class. They got to be to work. See what I'm saying? So you need to start thinking like those individuals. You need to start acting like you ain't got no money so that you can learn how to get by and how to move. You got to know how to move. See, if you didn't grow up poor, if you didn't grow up living in the hood, if you had no street smarts whatsoever, you better find you a friend that got some immediately. This is not the time to be without knowledge in these parts. How you gonna make it in these parts if you don't have no street smarts? You don't know nothing. How you gonna make it? And I'm talking to everybody right now. So let me get this straight. So you won't have no friends of a different nationality at all. You have none. Really? So you grew up upper middle class, whatever, and all your friends are upper middle class. You ain't got no poor friends. You ain't got, or friends that used to be poor, they grew up poor, but now they upper middle class. You ain't got no. You don't know nobody like that. You don't know people with different nationalities and stuff. You better, because we're getting to a point where you're gonna get to the store and they won't have no Tylenol, they won't have no aspirin, they won't have no nothing, because when people panic, they take everything up out of there. They take everything up out of there. So if you don't know how to do things like they do on The Walking Dead, then how you gonna make it, son? You're not. I'm just saying, folks. This right here, this is the times that's really gonna test the country. Because I'm sorry, I know I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record, but this is not a pandemic. I think this is a dry run test for rolling out the new world order. And you can't have a new world order without taking out the old world order. What and who is the old world order? I'll give you 3 letters, and you got to fill out the rest of it. Vanna, can I have a U, please? Yes, there is a U. Ding, 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 ding. Vanna, can I have an A, please? Yes, there is an A. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, can I have an S? Is there an S? Yes, there is an S. Ding, 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 ding. I like to solve the puzzle. Yes. USA. You're correct. The United States of America is that old world order that must be taken down in order for the new one to rise. Who's going to be the new one? Does anyone know? It's Europe. Yep. Yes, sir, Bob. Europe, that old Roman Empire that you have heard about and read about and may have studied in school, is rising back up. And guess what? Word on the street is, you didn't hear this from me, but the word on the street is your man Putin may be running things over there. Just saying. Just saying, man. Could Putin be that man of perdition? Could he be that man of sin? We shall see. I know it ain't coming out of Britain. And I'm not disrespecting my British listeners here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Open your eyes, folks. See what's going on. See what's moving. See what's moving and shaking. All right. There are a couple of earmarks for this individual. One of the earmarks of the individual is they have a very, very high IQ. And they are a man of war. and they are very strategic. Sounds almost like a Renaissance man in a way, a man of many talents, a very good speaker, very influential. All right, Trump is not that man of perdition. He's not. Sorry, it's not the U.S. The U.S. has no play. It gets no play with the final dance. This is not their music. This is not the U.S.'s music. They don't know how to dance to this music. The U.S. is going to go chill and have a seat at the bar. They're not invited on the dance floor. All right? Now, I'm going to share something else with you. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's Prince Harry, it's Prince this, it's Prince William. No, 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 and no. You know, Great Britain used to have a lot of power. It used to be the world superpower. It used to be the USA before the USA became the USA. As a matter of fact, the people that made up the Great Britain Empire started the USA Empire. So this is just a leg of Great Britain over here. And since Britain just removed itself from the European Union, it's not going to be a player either. The US and Great Britain are going down and being moved to the side, step aside. They're being stepped aside to make way for the new world order. And it's going to be Europe. Europe is rising, son. Do the knowledge. Take a look at what's going on. All right. Russia is rising. The big red bear is rising. Notice how they're rising and the U.S. is falling. Mr. Putin has a lot of power all of a sudden. He made one decision and threw the world into economic distress and depression. He made one decision and now crude oil is threatening to go to zero. That's some power right there. Look at what's happening, folks. Russia has successfully defeated the U.S. Even before this, they defeated the U.S. Everybody thought, oh, Russia fell in 1990. Ha, 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 ha. USSR is gone. Ha, 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 ha. Yes, we won the Cold War. Ha, 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 ha. You've done nothing. Because all this time, what you did not know is that Russia has been controlling everything that's been going on over here for the past 30 years. The USSR didn't die. It reinvented itself and became stronger. What are you talking about? All right. Now, you know, my memory for names is not that good. So y'all help me in the chat. You know what's that dude, Yuri Benzikov, whatever, the KGB dude who left and sought asylum in the U.S. and did the lectures, if they still have them up on YouTube, explaining what Russia was doing. This goes all the way back to 1983 when he gave these lectures. He said, we have a 20-year plan in Russia. This is what we're going to be doing to the U.S. Everything he said in 1983 has already come to pass in the U.S. Everything he said. Go ahead and do a quick search on YouTube for that dude Yuri B something. You guys let me know his name in the chat. You know who I'm talking about. He talked about it. That's it. Thanks, Michael. Let me go ahead and put that up. Good looking out. That's him. That's it. Yes, he did a series of lectures in 1983 and 1984 here in the U.S. And I think he did one of them over in California, one of the universities there, I believe. And this was 1983, 1984. And he was explaining the strategy for taking down the United States. And I have to admit, everything that he said that they were going to do, they have done. It's happened, folks. You're not listening to me. It's already happened. Some of the things he was talking about didn't even make any sense at the time. We were like, what is he talking about? What is that? It's 1983. What is the internet? You know what I'm saying? He was basically talking like that. He was giving you a 20-year span. And he said, if by such and such a time X, Y, and Z has not happened, then that's how you will know. And it's already happened, folks. Everything he said is happening. They're taking down the giant. They've already taken down. The giant is weak now. The giant is stumbling. He's drunk. He's drunk. He's out of his mind. He can't find his equilibrium. It's off. His balance is off, and he's about to fall over. Now, I know people are like, oh, you sound so unpatriotic. You sound so un-American. No, I am the most American that you have ever heard right now. All right? I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to spit some game to you because we're now at the end stages. You are watching the decline of the American empire. You're witnessing the decline of the American superpower in the world. I didn't say America was just going to blow up and or anything like. I didn't say that. All right, I'm telling you the truth, and it's unfortunate because it's not all of this doesn't fall on us per se, but it falls on our parents and our grandparents. They let this happen because some of the things that he talked about in 83 and 84. All right, I was a kid. I was a minor. In 1983, 1984, I was a minor. I was a little kid. I was a minor. So I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't enter into contracts and I couldn't vote and really didn't even understand what any of that was. I was a little kid. So it's not, that wasn't on me. Taking back the country back then wasn't on me. That would have been my parents because they were the voters back then. So we got to look at our parents and our grandparents right now. That's the generation we're talking about right now. All right. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Israel in the comments. Let me holler at you about Israel real quick. All right. A lot of people don't want to talk about this because they're afraid of being called anti-Semitic. I am not anti-Semitic. All right. But you do need to know the truth about Israel from a what's the word I'm looking for here? From a non-racist perspective, from a non-bigoted perspective. All right. Now, let me preface it by saying I'm not a Zionist. Okay. And I'm not one of those fanatics that say, you must do this and do that, and you must be a friend to Israel and do this and do that and be on their side. No, I disagree. All right. So without that saying, now we can move forward. The individuals who are occupying the space called Israel right now are not the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. They are Khazarians, or for a nicer way to say it, they're proselytes. All right, the true Hebrew Israelites were scattered to the four winds after they finally rebelled against God for the last time, and then He destroyed their religion and tore down their temple. He tore it down. The temple that took like 70, 80 years to build was destroyed within hours. He took it down. He destroyed it. All right. In 70 AD, the temple was destroyed. No more animal sacrifices, no more altar, no more none of that. All right. That was their final punishment. Then something weird happened in the 1940s. Israel is recognized as a nation state now. All right. They're now a nation. God was doing something different. He said, okay, now it's time. It's time to get things right and ready. Since that time, we're talking after Hitler's defeated and all that, we had Hebrew Israelites moving back to the region. Now, if you do the knowledge to what I am saying to you, you will learn that the Hebrew Israelites, when they scattered, a big majority of them scattered into northern, eastern, and even some in Western Africa. It was easy for them to go there because it's easy to move somewhere or expatriate somewhere where you look like the people where you're going. Are y'all following my drift? What happened was, this is part of their punishment, of course. A lot of them got caught up. A lot of them were still bugging, and they were still taking the ways of the Canaanites. They were still worshiping false gods and idols. God had already destroyed the temple. They got scattered to the four winds. And not long after that, a few millennia after that, they got caught up in something else, another judgment. Guess what that judgment was? They were sold into slavery, something that they were used to. They knew about being slaves in the land of Egypt. Now they were becoming slaves again. Some of these original Hebrew Israelites were shipped over to a place called North America. They were shipped to the islands that we know as the Caribbean. Some of them were also shipped over to Spain and Portugal, and also to Europe, what we call Great Britain. Then what happened was this, though. And this is the part that's going to twist you up a little bit. Around that time where the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, the Hebrew Israelites had committed another atrocity against what Yahweh told them not to do, and that was intermarry. They intermarried with all the surrounding Canaanite nations. And so now you have all these different people walking around that got Hebrew Israelite blood in them now. They're mixed. All right. This is straight up. So you got very fair-skinned Hebrew Israelites now, and you still also have that original darker complexion Hebrew Israelites walking around too. Now, another thing happened during this time too. There was a spiritual split among the Hebrew Israelites. There was those Hebrew Israelites that were faithful and committed to Yahweh, and those Hebrew Israelites that were not, and they took the way of the Canaanites. And they went into what we call today as fractional reserve banking. And that's where you get the line of the Rothschilds. So you got carnal Israel, and then you got spiritual Israel. So you got the Hebrew Israelites that are committed to Yahweh, and then you got those that are not. They're basically atheists. Guess who's been moving back to Israel? The spiritual house of Israel has been moving back to the land of Israel, but they have no power in the land of Israel. As a matter of fact, they're treated like second, third, and fourth class citizens because the Khazarian banking proselyte branch is the one that's running and ruling the country right now. All right. Now, in these final last days, as we get closer toward the end game, you're going to realize that the spiritual house is going to become more and more, and you're going to get a mixture over there because you're going to see the lighter skinned Israelites, because remember, there was a big mixture. A lot of the European Jews that we know of and see, some of them do have that ancestry, that DNA. Now, here's a funny little thing, and this is not meant as a diss. This is just meant as a fact. A lot of the ones that you can tell that have some of that original Hebrew Israelite DNA, you can look at their hair textures. They have the curlier, quote unquote, nappier looking type hair, and those have or they can trace the ancestry back to the original Hebrew Israelites. So it's really a mixture. It's really interesting how you got different types all over the planet now that are some of them making their way back home to Israel. So I had to put that out there. That's why I'm not a Zionist. Now, in these final days, God is not done with the house of Israel. He will be moving in a powerful way to restore the house of Israel, just like he said he would. He promised that he would. Now, we got to talk about the homeland part. All this is going to come back to these markets. I promise you. Just bear with me. He promised that he was going to, deliver them, that he would have a people. All right. He's going to have his spiritual Israel. They will be saved. They will be coming back to the homeland. The Middle East is a very important part of the world right now, and always has been. God promised that he was going to build the new Jerusalem in Jerusalem. All right. So right now, though, technically speaking, Israel lost the right to claim the land of Canaan when they sinned against God. God physically gave them the land of Canaan. So technically, all Palestine, all that belongs to the spiritual house of Israel. He promised them that was their land. They were to go and conquer the land. They failed to do that. They sinned against Yahweh. They didn't do it, so they lost that divine right to the land. Now, as we get closer to the end times, he's moving back the spiritual house of Israel there, and he's going to give that land back to them. That whole Jerusalem, that whole area over there, that little neck that they got right now, that Israel, that's theirs. Everything outside of that, though, they don't really have a claim to anymore because they messed up. So the land that they got that we call Israel right now, that's them. That's what they got. That's them. That's what God has given them right now. All the rest of that, the rest of the land of Canaan, nope. They can't claim that. Just so you guys know, their original land that God gave them stretches from the capital in Jerusalem going all the way out to Iran. Y'all probably didn't know that. But Iran, Iraq, all of that used to be one nation. All right. Philistines had all of that. All right. That was one nation. But now here's where it gets crazy, because a lot of the beef that's going on right now, I believe that those fires have been kindled by U.S. meddling and other nations also meddling over there. See, Israel should not really be beefing or at war with any of the Arab countries because they're brothers. They got the same DNA. They're brothers. Literally. They got the same daddy. Abraham had Isaac and Ishmael. Remember, Ishmael, his mama was an Egyptian woman. Isaac's mama was Sarah, who came from Ur of the Chaldeans along with Abraham, and was what, his second, third cousin, twice removed or something weird like that, whatever. So they have the same DNA. They have the same daddy. They should not be beefing. Even though Ishmael was not the promised seed, Isaac was. God still blessed Ishmael because, remember, Hagar had to get kicked out of Abraham's house. That was Ishmael's mama's name, Hagar. She was kicked out the house. All right. So she had to go into the desert with her baby boy, Ishmael, and God blessed them and said, I'm going to bless you. Even though you're not the promised seed, Isaac is, I'm going to still bless you and you will be prosperous in the land. As a matter of fact, the Bedouin tribes and all that, the Ishmaelites is the Arabian people. That's the whole area over there. They all come from the Ishmaelites. All of that. I don't care if you're talking about Kuwait, Qatar, all of that. That's all over there. Okay. Now, peep this. They were the first to become dukes and live in castles in the land. Did you know that? The Ishmaelites were the first to build castles and stuff like that. They were extremely prosperous. And then God blessed them even more because the land where they settled at, where the Ishmaelites settled at, was a blessed land. How do we know it was a blessed land? Because they're sitting on all the oil. All right. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. All right. So this is where we are today. You need to understand the history of what's going on here. All right. Now, peep this. There is debate on whether the man of perdition is going to be a a a a, a, a Jew, an Ishmaelite, or a European. All right, those are three schools of thought that have been debated throughout the centuries. Notice how I said a Jew, an Ishmaelite, or a European, meaning that it's going to come from over there, not over here. The U.S. is nowhere mentioned in this picture because it did not even exist as a nation. This place we call United States, North America, was basically operating like the continent of Africa. Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent made up of hundreds of countries. So was North America. North America was made up of multiple many miniature countries or nationalities. They say, oh yeah, the American Indian. There's no such thing as the American Indian. People are going to get mad at me for saying this, but there is no American Indian. I don't know where people get that from. There were multiple nationalities here in the United States before the quote unquote Caucasian man landed here. All right. A lot of the so-called American Indian people, they are quote unquote Black people and Asian individuals. And let me repeat that. African, Asian, and the third group was Latin. The Latins migrated up here from Central and South America, and that is where you get your Inca tribes from and your Aztec tribes. And what people don't like to talk about is that the Asians were here around the same time. Now, I don't have time to get into all of that and blow you away with some facts, but do your own research. If you know, don't be lazy, do some research and you will see what I'm telling you is factual. Now, peep this too. How does this all tie in to what we are experiencing today with this coronavirus and these markets and this economy? All right. Roll up your sleeves and put on your big boy pants and your big girl pants, because here we go. In order for the things that I just finished laying out to you to see their full end extent, the superpower of the USA must come down. They have been working on this for decades. They let it slip for a while too. I don't know if people caught it. A few years ago, they were talking about how America had it too good and they were too rich, and no other country on the face of the earth going back millennia has ever been as powerful and prosperous as America, and ooh, and how it's not fair, and America, needs to come down so other countries can come up. They were dropping little bombs like this. This was coming out of not only seminaries was talking like this, but certain universities around the country were talking about this, and it was a big thing. And I think it missed a lot of people. They weren't paying attention. So this was something that has been in the works. Now, how are they doing it, though? They're doing it subversively. Notice how they've been hitting you more and more with their rhetoric. They've been talking about green this and green that. They've been talking about saving the planet, saving Gaia, saving Mother Earth, carbon emissions. You have to breathe less. If we can get people to breathe half as much as they normally breathe during the day, we can save a tree or two. We can save the whales and the dolphins. They start loving dolphins and whales more than they love people. All right? This New World Order hates people. It hates humanity. They want you to die. They're saying we need to have less people on the earth. We have too many people. We need to get rid of people. Even your boy Bill Gates has been recorded, and it's been viral all over the internet, saying how, with immunizations and vaccinations, they can reduce the world's population. He did not bite his tongue. He didn't say, "Side, gotcha." He didn't do none of that. He didn't do none of that. He meant what he was saying, man. His father was a eugenicist. Come on now. Let's deal with some facts. Let's deal with some truth. This has been going on for a long time. Why do you think that Margaret Sanger was so successful in putting these Planned Parenthoods in the urban cities where they were mostly Black and Latino people? Why do you think that? Her own words said that she wanted to pretty much do away with the Black race at that time. Why do you think all this is happening? This is systematic. See, at first, when they were talking eugenics, in the upper echelons of society, oh yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, we got to do that. They didn't understand that they were also talking about them. There is a we, they, siege mentality, but you and I aren't invited to that club. It's a part of their secret society club. It's not for you. You guys don't know what's going on. They don't care about you. Why do you think the congressmen, why do you think the senators are all on vacation while Rome is burning? Some of them are out of the country. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Come on, man. Let's keep it 100. Keep it 100. All right? They don't care. To me, what I've been seeing, this is not a pandemic. This is a test run for the real pandemic. That's what this really is. Again, how can this be a pandemic with less than a 2% mortality rate? Explain that. You can't. You cannot. You cannot. If this was a pandemic, whoever gets it will be dead. 98% plus mortality rate. We do not have that today, people. We don't. Look how many cases we got worldwide and look how many deaths we got. You got way more survivors than deaths. Way more. Way more. All right? They're pumping this up. They want people to panic. As a matter of fact, do you know what they said on CNBC this morning? They were interviewing some dude and he said he wished that they panicked people and that people were panicking. We could save more lives. You're not losing any lives. What are you talking? We got 7 billion people on the planet, and a few thousand people have died. We don't even have 100,000 deaths worldwide. We got what, 3,000-4,000 deaths worldwide out of 7 billion people? And you calling this a pandemic? You got people panicking. People can't find food in the grocery stores. People starving because of this. You got businesses talking about they're about to go under, which means that thousands and thousands of jobs are about to be poof, gone up in smoke because you want people to panic. You got to ask yourself a question, folks. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why do they want people to panic so much? Why do they want people to start bugging and looting so much? Why? Remember, this is the same government that preached a dogma for the longest time, which is you never want to incite riots. You never want to incite the people. You always want people to stay calm. You always want to give people hope. You always want to talk the lighter side of things. An asteroid could be heading for the planet the size of Milwaukee, and they will say, it's nothing. We've seen this before. It's all right. Stay calm. It's okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. But now we got the foolishness, the hype coming out. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. All right? They want you to panic. They want you to lose your mind. Since when has any United States official, government official, told people they should panic or want people to panic? When? All right? I'm telling you, they're using a real virus, a real situation, because they want people to panic. It's like they're testing us to see how we respond. And then they've been putting pressure on Facebook to only carry their narrative about the situation. You can't have any dissenting opinions. They don't even want public debate on this. They just want you to do what they want you to do. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. All right? I'm letting you know. We don't live in a civil society as much as they want you to think. They want you to be as uncivilized as possible so they have an excuse to rain down their police state on you. That's what they really want. They want to hem you up with a police state. They're just waiting for the people to give them a reason to do so. Why do you think I've been on here saying, don't panic, stay calm. Don't panic, stay calm. Don't panic, stay calm. Don't panic, stay calm. The U.S. has a lot to answer for, and no one wants to deal with this. No one wants to deal with the truth. You can't even really get an honest debate going. And if you do, it's not going to be a friendly one. People are going to want to go to blows afterwards or they'll be shouting over each other. The U.S. has lost its ability to reason. They can't reason without getting all in their feelings and getting emotional and name calling. They can't even talk about difficult things and difficult subjects. They won't hear it. They won't hear you. They want destruction. They want destruction. And people can't see it. I don't know why people can't see what's in their face. Again, going back to the Planned Parenthood thing, you put that in all the urban cities where there's a majority of Black and Latino people, and no one bats an eye. And then you get them to say, yes, this is a good thing. Tens of millions of Black and Hispanic babies, Latino babies are being aborted every year, murdered every year, and no one bats an eye. You get the people to say, yeah, right on. The women say, it's my body. I can do what I want. This is an unplanned pregnancy. Why are you forcing me to become a mother? No one forced you to become a mother. You forced yourself to become a mother when you had unprotected sex. What did you expect to happen? Did you expect biology not to happen? No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to deal with that. They have been doing genocide on the American people forever. And no one wants to deal with this level of truth. They hate this level of truth. It's too much. They can't handle it. They get all in their feelings and emotionals. They get triggered. That's why whatever fiscal plans they come up with is not going to work. And I'm going to tell you why it's not going to work. Because you have dumbed down the American people for so long that they've lost the ability to reason and think clearly for themselves. They have to be told what to think and when to think it. They can't reason anymore. They've lost all cognitive ability. The patient is brain dead. Pull the plug. It's game over. Mark my words. It's game over. Remember what I told you too. And now I'm glad you're finally seeing this. Remember I told you years ago, I said, the higher the Dow goes, the worse the economy is going to go. They're using the Dow as a smokescreen to deceive you into thinking that your condition that they have created and caused upon you and then got you to love is going to come crumbling down. What have we seen here? The Dow is just coming off of an all-time high, the highest it's ever been ever in its history. And look where we are today. The economy is in shambles. When they rolled back the Dow, when you remove the curtain and the smoke screen of the Dow, it revealed the truth about the condition of the economy. Now that the Dow smoke screen mirror has been removed, and now you can see clearly the truth about the economy. Since when does the Dow falling to a low level cause companies to come out and say we're going out of business? We're in trouble. Unless the government comes and bail us out, we're done. We're at the precipice of having no airline industry, no auto industry, and no retail industry. That's where we are right now. We're teeter-tottering on insolvency and bankruptcy, and all people can think about is the coronavirus killing me. How is that the case when it has a 98% survival rate? More people die of the actual flu virus than of the coronavirus every year, and you don't see or hear them batting an eye over that. In the last 10 years, how many people worldwide have we lost to the flu? I didn't hear them declaring the flu a pandemic. Come on, look what they're doing. They're pushing the envelope a little bit more every day. Last week, all you heard about is, okay, we got to use social distancing. See how they make up these stupid words and come on, really? And now this week, now they're talking about you can't go to work. It's like a de facto layoff. You all been laid off. Can't come to work. Do you have anybody sick in your company? No. Anyone test positive for coronavirus? No. Does your company deal with the physical public, like, face to face? No, we're a call center. So then why can't people come to work? Well, because, just in case, well, I'll get back to you on that one. That's where we are. That's why whatever fiscal stimulus they've been throwing at this market is not working, because it's not about the stock market. Now, do you understand? It doesn't matter what they do. They're taking rates to zero. It's not going to help the stock market. The stock market is not recovering because it's not about the stock market. It's about you, folks. It's about you. It's all about you. All right? It's about you. It's not about the stock market. You need help. The people are the ones that just going to need help and rescuing, not the big fat corporations. Okay? So I'm just saying. And look, good point. I'll put this up. Where is it? Yep. Stores are still open to deal with the public. So the store can be open, but the call center can't be open. Where does that make any sense? Or how I heard them say on the radio the other day, the public schools are closed, but the daycares are going to be open. Really? Right. Scaring people to panic buy. Because the more you panic and buy and clean out the shelves, you're propping up the consumer spending index. Yep. Cashier standing face to face with thousands of people are still working. Yep. Wake up, folks. Yes, the coronavirus is just a cover for the failing economy. All right, good question. Can I explain pandemic bonds? All right, so there was a chick here on YouTube that there's a bond trader that did an interview with one of the YouTube people, and they were talking about corona pandemic bonds, whatever. Another name for a type of uh, lower immaturity bond. That's all it is. It's just regular bonds. When you say bonds, it's a big word, but you got lower in maturities, longer in maturities. You got 2-year notes, 5-year notes, 10-year notes, 30-year bonds, T-bills. You got all these different types of maturities and things like that. So that's what it's talking about. Just talking about the bond market in general and how this particular securities product, this particular bond, was not going to pay people any dividends or any kind of interest, period, because it went to a certain level. I know you guys probably don't remember, but I've talked about this before. If you want to know more about this, like from a real theoretical perspective, pick up the book Fiasco, and it's the one that has, I know it's a paperback. It's silver with some orange on the cover, and it's talking about how Wall Street creates certain types of securities that are designed to blow up in your face. And they charge millions of dollars in fees creating these things, and then they would sell them to third world countries and in different countries and certain institutions and even town municipalities, cities and states, and they were designed to really blow up. The biggest one was the Orange County, California bonds back was it early '90s, late '80s that blew up. They lost $1 billion on that one. It talks about Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs and them, how they create these sophisticated securities that are designed to literally explode in your face. So that's basically what that's talking about. And that book goes into more detail about these type of instruments. All right. So no, and full disclosure, I never worked in a bond pit. I dealt with the future side. I dealt with bond futures, but not the cash side. Didn't work in those pits. So yeah, that's basically what we are. Remember, I talked about this the other day. I said, the next, maybe I did it last night. The days are starting to run together. Anyway, I talked about how the next crisis after the equity crisis is going to be the bond crisis. So, and I did warn. I said if bonds drop below par, that as a nation we're in trouble. Like for real, we're looking at insolvency at that point, because then you're going to have all these other things happen at the same time. You're going to have defaults. You're going to have inflation. You're going to have, skyrocketing interest rates, all types of stuff. All types of things will be happening at that point. And you'll be looking at a different type of a chaos. So like I said, and I've been saying this for years, even when I was on the late, great Charlie McGrath's Wide Awake News show, I warned everyone. I said, the higher the Dow goes, the poorer everyone else is going to be getting. The worse the economy is going to get. So the stock market masked what was happening with the economy, So now you're seeing the reality. You're seeing the truth. The coronavirus just used to pull the lid off of the thing, and now you see what's really happening. All right. So, question: where can you check to see where par is on bonds? Very simple. Par is 100. If the bond prices drop below 100, that's par. Par is 100. Same thing for currencies. Par is 100. Anything below par is bad. Anything above par is considered a strong currency. So that's what that is. I still do have, I think it's still there. I still have some of those old podcasts with Charlie on my YouTube channel, PulseWaveTrading.com YouTube channel. Go to the playlist and look for WAN, Wide Awake News, and you should see it there. It's not that many podcasts. Those are just the ones I could find. I didn't record a lot of stuff in the beginning. I didn't start recording until like the end. So like a lot of the stuff from prior to 2013 is probably missing. And I think his channel's been, I think his sister took his channel down now. So all that stuff is probably gone, unless you can find someone else who may have re-uploaded some of those. I think I still got one or two I did with DemCAD, and I may have one in my playlist that I did with Gregory Mandarino, because me and Gregory Mandarino and DemCAD would host for Charlie at times. So that is on there. And I think I may have a couple that I did with Scarecrow. So I don't know. And I think, what's the other one? What's that guy's name? I can't think of his name. Warren. Warren Pollock. Yeah, I think the one I did with Warren Pollock is on there too, because Warren used to come on there as well. And I think he's still on YouTube. Warren is. And he used to work on Wall Street too back in the day, and had buddies that still did after he left. And we would kick it from time to time. So anyway, all right, we are now into the first hour of trading. It is done. First hour is done. And we did something that I said we were going to do in the beginning. I don't know if y'all caught it or not. I said, I think we're going to take out the overnight lows, and that's exactly what the market did. So technically, this is what it's looking like. It's looking like the range has been established for the day. I don't think we did anything to establish a direction. It just looks like we've established range for the day. So today should be a quote unquote continuation pattern inside day. Not a narrow range inside day, but a continuation pattern inside day, meaning that we took out the overnight lows and yesterday's lows and some things, and then we're going to settle somewhere inside of yesterday's bar. That's about it. So today is really just going to set up the rest of the week. So today is going to set up Thursday and possibly Friday. We could see a take back Friday like we did the following Friday when we had that 1,000-point run up. We may see another one of those this coming Friday. So we'll see. But now the thing to watch out for this week, though, is if we do get a good rally on Friday, is this going to be it? Is this going to be the one that has the continuation into next Monday? That's what you're looking for. That's going to be the signs of a bottom in the equity market. If we get a good, strong take back Friday to the upside, a rally that spills over into the following Monday, that's your red alert. Your alarm should go off that we have now entered a bottom. I said bottom. A bottom in the equity market, and then we should be at a point where we can possibly back up the truck. All right. Oh, okay. Someone said that Warren Pollock is sometimes a guest on Greg Hunter's show. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't talked to Warren, man, in years. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. That's all I got for now. Like I said, this is a good day. If you haven't filled up at the tank, go ahead and do so. Go ahead and do what you need to do, and you know, get whatever little supplies or whatever you need. Just you just want to be as prepared as you can. Not panicking like most are doing, but their panicking is causing you and I to have to double check, make sure we got everything we need, because they're taking it all. They're buying it all up, and there's no guarantee that next week there's going to be any deliveries. That's the way we got to start thinking and moving now. Someone said that the miners are going up again. Yeah, they are. I'm looking at GDXJ right now. GDXJ is up $3.81 at $30.39. It's catching a bid because gold is up $22.60 right now. Gold has peaked its head back up over 1,500. We're at 1,509. So the gold miners are benefiting off of that right now. Also, it should be noted that the Dow futures is down 278 points, while the Nasdaq is up 88 points, and the S&P is up 30 points. But yet the Russell is down 4 points. So the markets are mixed as far as equities are concerned right now. And so the miners are catching a bid off of gold right now, benefiting off of that, and benefiting off of certain sectors of equities rallying right now. So that's all. That's what all that is. One more thing, as far as rally alerts for today, GDXJ did have a primary rally alert for today. So it is actually doing that. And it didn't gap up either. It started down actually, and then it rallied. So anyone trading the PulseWave price triggers that caught that, I would move my stop to at least, I would move the stop to the low of the day, right around the low of the day, somewhere abouts there, just to just to lessen the blow of the stop. You don't need to have such of a wide stop because GDXJ has now rallied. So it's safe to move the stop to at least where the low of the day is. That should be doable. Or at least if you want, you should have enough room within the current day's volatility to at least move your stop to break even. So those will be your two options. Move your stop to around the low of the session, which is at 27-ish, and or you can move your stop to break even. And I think break even should be safe for you right now, because if the market does pull back significantly, it's going to take you out anyway, and you don't want to be long in a market that is that weak. All right. So GDXJ traders out there that are pulse waivers, go ahead and move them stops, homie. Play with the house's money for a little bit. All right, next one says, how do I see silver? Coming into today, let's see here what we got for silver. Give me a second. Coming into today, the silver futures does not have a rally alert. We're still locked in on the negative momentum side. I covered this in last night's end of day report. I covered the precious metals. I showed you the charts, and I gave you my projection. Silver is not a buy right now. And I'm looking at silver futures. I always go off the futures. The futures is not a buy right now. 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 I had to repeat myself because I want no one to say, hey, you said that you can buy. I did not say you can buy. I said silver is not N-O-T a buy right now. Not. I'm not buying it with my money, and I'm not buying it with my client's money, and I wouldn't buy it with your money. All right. Full disclosure, I am literally on the sidelines right now. I have no working orders. I'm on sidelines. Full disclosure. I'll let you know when I put my shopping list together after the broadcast is over. I'll let you know in the trading room. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, is Harry Dent going to be right about gold and silver? That name, I know who you're talking about. I know the person. I haven't heard anything from him in a minute. I haven't been checking for him. Just keeping it 100 with you. I have not checked for him, so I don't know what he said about gold and silver, but let me guess. He said gold and silver is going to be priceless and go to $1 million. Is that it? At some point, I do agree with that. At some point, I do agree with that. To some extent, yes, I agree that gold and silver is going to take out their all-time highs. I do agree. I do believe that. All right, let's see. How do you think silver spot could go? Silver spot, all right, let me refresh those who may have not remember or did not watch yesterday's end-of-day report. Okay, to some extent, spot and futures prices are married. They move together, all right, with very small variations in price. At times, you can catch a differential between price. Spot silver could be at 15 bucks and the futures could be at $14.98 or vice versa. But those two things move together. You can't have a futures price without a spot price when it comes to commodity futures. You got to have a spot price. You got to have a spot price. Spot and futures go hand in hand. Futures are supposed to technically be, if spot is up and bullish, the future should be a little bit more expensive than that. And the reason and theory behind that is because futures takes into account storage costs, interest rates, etc., etc. All right. Harry Dent is a deflationary guy. He opposes Peter Schiff. Okay, I thought so. Okay, I thought the name rung a bell. He says gold and silver were going down. Okay. Harry Dent has gold 400 to 600 and silver back down to $5. Okay. I can't really say too much about the silver part because he kind of has a point. Silver is an industrial metal. It's a commodity. Commodities can go either way. That's a really mainly a supply demand issue. But gold going down to 400 to 600, man, that takes me back to my Wall Street days. When I started, gold was oscillating between $250 and $300. So you trying to take me back there with gold? Heck no. No, that train has left the station. That's impossible. That doesn't make any sense. Gold is a store of value and a safe haven asset. So absolutely not. Let's be honest. The way the stock market has moved these past 2 weeks, this is panic selling. This is not normal market behavior. In a normal bear market, gold would be going through the roof because people are going out, getting out of the market, getting out of equities and going into bonds and gold. Now that we have crypto, money will also be flowing to Bitcoin. The reason why gold and Bitcoin got smashed in this is because this was not a market crash either, folks. This is not a crash. A crash happens under normal market circumstances. No news piece, no news. Just technical buying and selling. That's it. That's where you have quote unquote crashes. For no reason the Dow was down 1,000 points. That's a crash. Technical crashes are different than panic selling based on a natural phenomenon. We're dealing with an outside influence that has nothing to do with markets moving the market. So this is not normal. Under normal circumstances, gold would not be setting at 1,500 right now. It'll be setting at like maybe 1,700. Well, actually, the way based on the price destruction, I would say probably back to 2,000 right now. But that's not the case because we've been having liquidation. People have had to liquidate their long gold positions as well as their long Bitcoin positions. And that's what drove prices down. It's all the selling. Okay. So gold 400 to 600 would mean that the United States has gotten their act together. They're no longer running deficits. They're running surpluses. We paid off all of the national debt. No more money printing. The Dow has recovered all of its losses. Trump just announced that he just created 2 million jobs in 1 week, and they're wage jobs, meaning that they're living wage jobs that you could afford to support a family if you had one of these jobs. And there's a low barrier to entry. You don't have to have a 4-year college degree to get this job and come in on the ground floor and make enough money to actually buy your first home. All of those things would have to be happening in order for gold to go to 400 to 600. Because then that would mean that people have absolutely, positively no use for gold. There's going to be no inflation forever. There's going to be no Mad Max scenario ever. There's no global warming. There's no wars being fought. Trump and Vladimir Putin are best friends. They normally play tennis together every Saturday and golf together every Sunday. The president of Israel is playing basketball with the Iranian president. They do that every week. That's the kind of scenario it would take to take gold to 400. Because then the whole world is saying we don't need gold. We kumbaya. Everybody's best friends. No one has any enemies. Enemies have made up. You got photos of Trump and Vladimir Putin hugging, dapping each other up, dressing alike, wearing the same T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Wearing the same pair of Jordans. There's footage of both of them running out of the Foot Locker, copping the new Jordans. Talking about, yeah, that's right. Look at me. I'm looking fresh. You would have to see live video footage of of Israel and like I said, the president of Iran dapping it up, hanging out, going to strip clubs together. All right, you would have to see the president of North Korea hugging and dapping up South Korea. You have to see that demilitarized zone disappear. They just agreed that ain't no zone no more. We all made up. He says he's not going to be a dictator no more. He's sorry for everything. All you South Koreans and North Korean family members can see each other. No more wall, no more militarized zone. We a family. And you got pictures of him dancing with the South Korean people, and they partying it up and drinking beer, and they getting crunk on the weekend. You would have to see all of that stuff I just said happening at the same time in order for gold to go to 400. Straight up. No, that's what it's going to take. So no, add a couple of zeros to that. That's where gold is going to eventually go. It doesn't have a choice. There's too much debt. There's too much debt to GDP out there. You're running deficits into the ground. We're not even talking trillions anymore. We're talking quadrillions. We can't even count that high, how much debt there is out there. Do you understand what's coming? All right, it's too much. And all of that's going to be used as a reason to roll out the New World Order. This ain't over with, folks. Even if the coronavirus were to be announced to be stamped out today, you would not be able to do anything. You would not be able to do anything. It's the weirdest thing. On another note, something weird I noticed today. You guys are so much smarter than I am, so maybe you can help me out with this. Can someone in the live feed explain to me if you guys are experiencing the same thing? What's going on with Nintendo's eShop? I can't get onto Nintendo's eShop today. The kids are like, yo, we can't get into Nintendo eShop. What's going on? We keep getting error messages. Let me know if you guys are having the same problem in other areas. If you can't get into Nintendo's eShop from your Nintendo Switch, let me know. Let me know, because I can't get in. I can't seem to help the kids to get in there. We keep getting error messages no matter what. Shut down the device, redo the device, and we just can't get in. Is something going on in Nintendo that we need to know about? Have they sent everybody home? Is there no one running the servers over there? Did they turn off the eShop servers or something? Now, full disclosure, we do not have modded switches. All right, we're not running Android or GameCube or nothing, no homebrew running on there. These are kids' devices, so don't know what's up with that. But anyway, if y'all having the same problem, let me know, because I cannot figure it out. It's been the oddest thing. Disruptions of service have been something they've been throwing around too on the business channels. People have been they've been coming up with some wild stuff. Now, the other day they were saying they're not going to cut off electricity or turn off the water. I don't even know why that would even be in question, but for some odd reason it came up, and so our local municipalities have already said no, we're not turning off the electric or the water. Why would you need to turn off electricity and water? How are you supposed to fight this quote unquote pandemic if you turn off the electric, if you turn off the water? That doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know why that came up or why that was coming up. I also saw something else too. Now my memory's starting to flood back. When I said I'm about to end it, then something else comes up in my mind. They were saying something about making it so that people can't get kicked out of their homes during this. So I don't know what's going on with that either. Some kind of moratorium I don't know if it's a case by case basis or certain municipalities are doing it, but not others. But they said that they're going to stop evictions until further notice. So that's also interesting. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But for some odd reason, it has been said. So local sheriffs are saying they're not going to evict people. So I don't know if they're going to do something with people who can't meet their mortgage payment too. I don't know what's going on. So I don't get it. I don't even know why that even is on the table for discussion. So there's some eyebrow raising stuff I've been hearing about. So okay, someone said, okay, this is good. All right, so unemployment starts on day 1 now for CV layoffs instead of day 8. Okay, that's a good thing then. Okay, all right. And then someone said that they believe the cutoffs for utilities were only for non-payments. Yeah, but I heard something about them saying that they're stopping certain things. Like they're stopping cutting people's water and electric off and stopping evictions. I actually heard that in my locality. So, okay, yeah, municipalities will not cut off water for unpaid water bills. That's good. That's good. Yeah, so all right, now see, I'm gonna tell you guys why I think this is eyebrow raising to me. Because under normal circumstances, supposedly, in just an okay economy, there's a small minority of people that get evicted or get their utilities cut off, right? It's not a widespread thing. So why do you need to make it a widespread thing? Okay, someone just said here, civil courts are closed, so no proceedings for evictions. Okay, and then they said too, can't file for unlawful detainer if the courthouse is closed. Okay, all right. That part makes sense to me, but the other thing don't. So are you saying then that you're expecting this to hit the job market particularly hard to the point where thousands of people would be getting their utilities cut off under normal circumstances? You know, it's almost like the effect of a mass layoff. All right, now some people don't know this. I've been through the layoff thing. I've worked for companies that don't even exist today. So I've been through the whole layoff thing. Okay. We learned during the very first layoff I ever got. The very first thing we learned is that whenever a big corporation or like a Fortune 500 corporation, for example, when they have a mass layoff where it's like a certain threshold of thousands of people, that they have to notify the unemployment offices before they even do it and give them the heads up and give them the numbers and all this other stuff so that they don't like overflood the system or something like that. It's been so long ago, but yeah. So it's very interesting. All right. Then someone, okay, my man just said eviction is a court order. Courts in California are closed. You said it, de facto layoff. Yeah. So are they preparing the localities and the federal government that the de facto layoff at this point is going to be so massive that they need to do these emergency movements? Is it going to be so bad that like nobody's going to be able to pay their utility bill because they can't go to work? See what I'm saying? These are eyebrow raising stuff, man. All right, someone just help me out here. 50 employees or more have to be notified. All right, there you go. I knew there was some number. I knew it was something. I just couldn't remember. Thanks for breaking that down. See, I got the greatest listeners on the planet. You guys are the most smartest, intelligent people on the planet. Whenever I need help, you guys always come through for me in the live chat. I appreciate y'all more than you realize. Thank you very much. That's always been one of my struggles. I have so much going on in my mind that it's hard to bring up certain things. And I know what I'm saying. I know what I want to say, but I can't get it out. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, so 50 employees or more have to be notified as far as the unemployment office. But I'm still stuck on the utility thing, though. I'm sorry, it's hard. I can't get off the utility thing. Are you saying that it's going to be that many people in a position, in a condition that won't be able to pay their water and electric or gas bill in the near future, in the not too distant future, that the feds have to tell them not to be mean to people? So the Fed has to tell the electric company, the Fed has to tell the water company, the Fed has to tell the gas company, you bet not, you best not, you bet not discontinue service for these people? Really? That's interesting. That is very interesting. So if that's the case, what is the world gonna look like when this is over? Are you is the Fed gonna backstop all these industries and companies? Really? How are they gonna do that? Where the money coming from? You would have to tax every American citizen and every Fortune 500 company at 100%, and you still wouldn't be able to pull off what I just announced, what I just said. How could you do that? The after effect could be so long lasting, it could literally cripple the economy. Like, seriously. All right, someone said construction companies are closing. Cashiers have higher exposure, correct? There's a huge lack of demand right now due to prohibitions against mass gathering, correct? People are living at 100% of their wages. Ugh. Imagine millions off the chain when the quarantines lift. Yeah. So the feds are making these mandates for utility companies. Isn't this some kind of quasi-fascism? People asking about silver? It's the opposite of the Illuminati stocks. Like I said, eyebrow raising time. Now, here's a good one. I believe that the Antichrist will come in to solve our problems. Oh, just makes you shiver at the sight of that, at the sound of that, doesn't it? We know the Fed will give the industries money, but the companies won't pay it forward. But see, that's just it. Technically speaking, Trump really hasn't said a whole lot about that. I'm thinking they're handpicking certain segments, certain industries, not everybody, not everybody, not everybody. And that's why I'm raising my eyebrow. I'm still on this utility thing. I can't get off it because how you going to do that? Now, the Fed can't cure cancer. It can't cure coronavirus. It can only add liquidity to the markets. But it's not working. I don't know, man. I'm like, that whole Hegelian dialectic. I know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. All right, got another point here. You guys don't want to live in a world of astronomical silver. Americans live at over 100% of income. Yeah, man. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. Okay, here's one. Our state government and Oz have just doubled the amount of money they'll pay for electricity to help low income earners. Okay, all right. And then direct money to the people comes at a high price. Yeah. Yeah, they ain't nothing for free. No free lunch, right? I don't know, y'all. I just got a weird feeling about all this. It don't make. I don't. How they going? How? Where's the money coming from? Like, really? They got it like that? Well, I mean, instead of going through all of that, why don't they just say, forget it? Why don't you just right now deposit $100,000 in every American's account? Every American right now should get a check for 100 grand. And it should come with a letter attached to it saying, okay, spend this money wisely because for the next 6 months, it's going to be crazy up in here. Then I could respect that because now you've done what? You've told me what's coming and what we facing, what we dealing with. And then on the flip side, you've also given me some money so I can take care of myself. I could respect a government in that regard. But right now, I question marks. According to the X22 report, keeping people home or gathering in small groups prevents them from doing false flags while they round up the bad guys. No, 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 I don't know. All right, here's my thing. Okay, so to me, keeping people at home prevents them from seeing what you're doing outside because they're in the house. But gathering in small groups and stuff, I mean, that's not going to prevent false flags. Plus, I don't know. I don't know if I understand it because false flags by nature are done by government, not by the individual citizens. When individual citizens do something bad or naughty, they call it terrorism, domestic terrorism. When a government does it, it's called a false flag. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. Remember, utilities are legal monopolies, so they can be instructed by government. That's true. That's true. It's going to collapse the system completely. That's what I'm concerned about. Yeah. You know, I don't know. Like I said, it just makes the eyebrows go up just a little bit. I don't know. It don't feel. When things don't feel right. You know. All right. I keep hearing this one. All right. Here we go. There's a QAnon fantasy going on that Trump and secret patriots are using this crisis to round up the deep state. The fanboys say supply was tainted by coronavirus, i.e., Tom Hanks again. Yeah, see, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy the QAnon. I'm sorry. I know you're gonna hate me for saying that. Call me an idiot. Call me uninformed. I don't trust the QAnon. I'm sorry, I don't, man. I don't. 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 All right, let me see this one. Big Swear had a road to root a fantasy that the good guys are in control of a collapse to replace fiat currency with gold and silver. Okay, all right. I got two things I need to deal with once and for all. Let's deal with this QAnon and let's deal with this thing. Okay, here we go. This is no shade on anybody. I respect David X22 report. I respect Dick Swear, all those people. All right. I got love for them guys. I respect them. All right. I've even been on the X22 show. But I don't agree with any of that. All right. Now let me tell you why I don't. First, the QAnon. I don't believe in the QAnon because it sounds so familiar to me. All right, for several decades now, and I'm not kidding, several decades, there's been this talk about some underground patriots, American patriots, taking back, the White House, taking back the country, taking back the military, rounding up so-called bad actors and holding these tribunals and trials, and we're going to see justice and Jamie Dimon's going to prison and all this other stuff. And it could be no further from the truth. All right. Again, it's like trying to find the Easter bunny on Christmas. It's not going to happen. Okay. He's hibernating. He's chilling. He's not out. Okay. There's no truth to it whatsoever. All right. And that's all I got to say on that one. All right. This next one. Okay. Going back to a gold standard. Okay. All right. Let me say this as delicate and as respectful as I can. I don't want to diss nobody. We all have different opinions. We're entitled to our opinions. But I'm about to tell you some facts right here. Okay. So don't take this the wrong way. All right. How are we supposed to go back to a gold standard when there's no gold in Fort Knox? Going back to a gold standard presupposes you have gold to back the standard by. The fiat is supposed to be backed by gold holdings. There is no gold in Fort Knox. Tommy, you ain't got no job. If I can quote from Martin, the most famous, one of the funniest shows on TV in the 90s. Tommy ain't got no job. So what do you mean? What you mean? How are we going back to a gold standard and we ain't got no gold? The Fed took all the gold. The central banks took all the gold. After they indebted every country on earth, they took their gold. They got all the gold. What are you talking about? Why do you think they collapsed the towers? They took all the gold up out of that basement. Ain't no gold in Fort Knox. Why do you think that the Fed has not been audited? Why do you think the vault at Fort Knox has not been audited? When your boy Ron Paul was pushing for that to happen and running for president, he backed out of the race, and he backed down on auditing the Fed. Why? Because the deep state, the shadow government that is still in power, has not left the building. They're still in power. They still control everything. And my man Ron didn't want to get shot in the head. He didn't want to be JFK. All right? We're not going back to a gold standard. It ain't happening. We ain't got no gold, man. Ain't no gold. All right? Plus, if you did go back on a gold standard, the people that have all the gold would make the rules, and they would be the ones that make all the decisions because you ain't got no gold, man. The country, you don't got no gold. You can only go to a gold standard if a country has gold. They have no gold. All right. So now you guys understand what's going on. There is no gold standard. It will never happen. It will never happen again in this country. It will never happen. It will never happen. Got to get over it. All right. So with that being said, it's not happening. Okay. There is no gold. Now, you may be like, well, then why they got such a military presence there? Well, it's a fort. Military stay at forts. The only other offshoot thing that I could add to that would be they probably hide an extraterrestrial spacecraft there in its place. That was a tongue-in-cheek, corny joke. All right, so let me see. Someone has a good piece here. One of the thoughts of crypto going down to pre-2017 prices so exchanges can buy and have 90% in hand, and some move to some type of crypto system regardless. None of this happens overnight. Okay, remember I said that the other day. I gave you guys markets 101 when I told you that before they rally a market, they got to crash it first. If they want to crash a market, they got to rally it first. That's what they do. They bubble things they want to pop and pop things they want to bubble. That's what they do. It's never changed. Ad infinitum. All right. So there's no new thing under the sun, folks. We live in perilous times. Make no mistake about it. The world we live in is bugging and it's getting more crazy every day. So I just want to, let you guys know that even if, and I really hope this is the case, even if we come out on the other side of this and everything is good, kumbaya, let this issue be a learning point for you so that you never go back to being uninformed. Use this moment to educate yourself to the world that you live in. Use this moment to build your relationships, closer relationships with your friends and family. Use these moments to love on each other harder than you ever loved on each other before. Use these moments to get right with God, because tomorrow is not promised to anybody. And unfortunately, I can't get Gerald Salente out of my head, man. He told us back in the day, he said, when they can't get what they want, they take you to war. War could be on the back of all of this, folks. This could be a primer for that. So don't sleep on that. All right? Don't sleep on that. I'm serious. Do not sleep on that. What do people do when they're starving and hungry or they can't get the things they need? They pick up a gun, man. And if a gun is not available, they pick up a sword. If a sword is not available, then they'll pick up a dagger. If a dagger is not available, they will find a rock and bash each other's heads in with it. All right? I'm just saying, fam, please listen to what I'm saying to you. All right? Good question. What if fam is stuck in the paradigm? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to make people listen to you. All you can do is love on them. Just be ready to give an answer for the hope that lies within you with gentleness and respect. That's all you can do, man. You can just share the truth with people in love. You don't beat people over the head with truth. You share it with them in love if they're willing to listen. If people don't want to listen, there's nothing you can do. You cannot force anything down people's throat. All right? You can't force the Bible down people's throat. You can't force economic realities down people's throat. You can't do none of that. They're not going to hear you. All right? There's nothing you can do about that except for just share. If a door is open to share the gospel, then you can do it. If it's not, you got to shake the dust off your feet, man, and keep it moving. Seriously. That's the world we live in. You can pray for people that's not going to listen. That's all you can do is pray for them. That's it. That's all we can do. We can't do nothing else. All right? But keep your eyes and ears open, people. All right? Keep your eyes and ears open. Walk circumspectly before your God and do what you need to do each and every day. This is not the time to be playing around. It's a time to take things seriously because we are hurtling toward the end game. And we are, no matter what happens after today, I have to tell you this with deep sorrow. It hurts my heart to have to tell you this, but we literally are witnessing the death of an empire. We're witnessing America going down, folks. America is going down. It breaks my heart, even almost to the point of tears, telling you that. I don't care what they do after today. It's already too late. All right, it's already too late. You're witnessing the collapse of an empire. All right, straight up. I didn't say global collapse. All right, I said the collapse of an empire. Every nation on the face of the earth that ever was a nation, its lifespan was only an average of 200 years. All right, with the exception of the Roman Empire, it extended to 500 years. Every other world superpower throughout time only lasted about 200 years, and after that, that was it. Some of which never rose again to superstar status. All right, so just gotta let y'all know that, man, and I say that with a heavy heart. All right, because there's some things that come on the back of that, and they're not going to be nice. It's not going to be nice. I'm sorry. Not saying that things that that are existing as they are today is so nice. But what's on the back of this is not going to be nice. You're not going to want it. You're not going to like it. All right. I've already been on the air long enough. I have to say that for another time. All right. So with love, go to pulsewavetrading.com. We got the free account you can sign up for. We got some free giveaways when you open up a free account. Also, you can get started with the 6-pack, only $69 a month. And that gives you the opportunity to come break bread with us, learn how we trade these markets, how we benefit in the paper markets without having to liquidate our physical stack of gold and silver. All right, learn how to operate and do that and do so successfully. All right, love you guys. Remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'll see y'all back here for the end of the day report. And the rest of you, I will see in the trading room. Peace.